WWE doesn't want you to forget everything about the wonderful Alexa Bliss's life and career, but there are select moments of their own making that the company would prefer fans to pretend never happened. Put simply, you might be left a bit shocked when revisiting some of these, moments of bliss from over the years. So I am Gareth, this is What Culture Wrestling, and here are 10 things WWE wants you to forget about Alexa Bliss. Number 10, Baby Swag. WWE briefly aired footage of Alexa's company audition tape during an episode of the old 365 documentary series, but it should probably be destroyed. Bliss, to her credit, ripped it out of herself for thinking up the name Baby Swag, and for describing herself as bubbly, flirty, and always trying to be the center of attention. This was peak diva era cringe, being totally honest. The embarrassing audition tape basically used every adjective John Laurinaitis looked for in would-be divas. Bliss also revealed that she paid some dude around $100 to film her strutting around in a bikini, and the vid appears to have been shot in a cafeteria somewhere. WWE probably don't want folks remembering that they mandated bikini auditions. Number 9, she was Women's Division GM. Then GM Baron Corbin put Bliss in charge of the women's locker room, and told her she had full autonomy to make title matches, hand out fines, etc, etc. This angle lasted for literally less than a full month before Triple H and the McMahon family apologized for how rotten the flagship had been that year. They fired Corbin, and Alexa was quietly removed from her position of power without much fuss. WWE booked Bliss to tear down various women without ever getting any sort of comeuppance. Thus, her gig was one of the most pointless yet. And while on that subject, I want to know from you right now, who is your favorite WWE authority figure or GM of all time? That's if you've got one, and if you do, throw it in that comment section down below. Number 8, kendo stick on a pole. Her kendo stick shots to Bayley were, let's say, light, and they played before boos from live crowds who wanted to see some violence. Come PLE time, things somehow got worse. The pair's kendo stick on a pole match was on par with most on-a-pole bouts Vince Russo booked during the final year of WCW's lifespan. It was dreadful. Bayley vs. Bliss was a pay-per-view dud that failed to deliver on the violence, and even made babyface Bayley look like a total moron for refusing to fight back with weapons. It's regarded as one of the worst PLE matches of Alexa's entire career for a reason. Number 7, This Is Your Life. 1999's timeless This Is Your Life skit involving Mick Foley and The Rock might have gone long on the night, but it remains one of the most beloved TV segments in wrestling history. WWE tried to replicate some of that success on the 29th of May 2017 Raw with Alexa Bliss and Bayley. Bliss held a retrospective on her rival's life. There was some scattered booing around halfway through, presumably because people were bored out of their minds and could see the segment was tanking before their very eyes. The skit was so bad, WWE had Kurt Angle poke fun at it on the follow-up episode. Then everyone moved on and acted like This Is Your Life, The Return hadn't happened at all. Years later, Vince McMahon publicly then blamed Triple H for producing the thing during a bizarre promo on SmackDown. Number 6, she won the 24/7 title. Speaking of Triple H, the game would rather everybody just forgot the old 24/7 belt was even a thing. It was a passable comedy strap at first, but R-Truth's joke had worn thin by the time Alexa Bliss grabbed the title on the 18th of July 2022 Raw. Little Miss Bliss did so during a 6-woman tag that had sod all to do with the thing. Akira Tozawa was chased by the usual gang of wrestlers with nothing better to do. Then Alexa somehow ended up bagging the championship. Technically, despite only holding it for less than a minute, that 24/7 title reign is on Bliss's record. But it will not be something she reminisces about during Hall of Fame speeches someday. Oh yeah, and just a quick one to say thank you for watching this video today. And if you like this kind of stuff, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. Number 5, Painful, a Moment of Bliss segment. Many saw Bliss and then pal Nikki Cross drinking coffee and rambling on with poorly scripted dialogue before inevitably being interrupted by anyone. It was a waste of time, and why Raw's 3-hour length often felt like double that during Vince McMahon's bleakest creative period pre-pandemic. A Moment of Bliss should be considered one of the worst talk show segments in WWE lore. It's up there with Bayley's short-lived skit, Ding Dong Hello. Questions needed asking about exactly who this was supposed to entertain. A WWE talk show to forget. Number 4, Lily's TV Domination. WWE's writers were obsessed with Lily for a while, so much so that they had the doll end Raw with main event angles. Who could ever forget forget Lily stalking Shayna through the venue as the flagship went off the air with a scream. Being fair, Alexa tried her best to tell the story of a creepy childhood toy that possessed her, but she was fighting an uphill battle here. The gimmick might have been acceptable had it been background noise, but it was literally the biggest story on Raw at one point. Lily didn't even have a memorable end either. Charlotte Flair destroyed the thing at Extreme Rules 2021, and Bliss went back to being her old self with next to no context. Then, almost hilariously, WWE returned to the idea that Alexa was troubled, like the Charlotte angle was a figment of your imaginations. Weird. Number 3, that she's beaten Randy Orton on PLE. Look at this shot here. That's Alexa Bliss working a match with Randy effing Orton. At Fastlane, Randy struggled to get his hands on Bliss so he could RKO her straight to hell. Instead, Alexa taunted Orton with supernatural shenanigans before she shockingly picked up a PLE win over Randy thanks to Bray Wyatt's melted fiend. It's pretty incredible that Bliss holds a pay-per-view victory over a major WWE star like Randy Orton, and this likely isn't something Triple H's creative team will drop into conversation during Orton's recent return period. Imagine it! Michael Cole just casually recalling that time creepy Alexa scored a PLE win over Randy on commentary. Number 2, her turn on Bray Wyatt's fiend. Bray Wyatt's passing stunned the entire wrestling community in August 2023. Many had been expecting to see Bray back on screens any minute, but that had sadly never happened. Throughout 2020 and 2021, Wyatt's fiend seemingly possessed Alexa Bliss and turned her into part of his act. Then at WrestleMania 37, Bliss randomly turned on the fiend by causing him to lose to Randy Orton. It was a clear swerve for the sake of it more than something painstakingly planned. Naturally, this isn't something WWE can exactly revisit or wrap up due to Wyatt's tragic death, so they'd surely just want people to forget all about Alexa's role in this strange story. That includes the black goo, her match with Randy, and the fact Bliss turned on Bray's alter ego. This may never be officially broached again. Number 1, the body-shaming angle with Nia Jax. WWE's writers took some risks heading into WrestleMania 34. They had Alexa Bliss turn on Nia Jax by body-shaming her so-called friend and leaving Nia in floods of tears. The story was simple. Bliss had been using Jax all along, but didn't see how anybody could cheer for Nia because she was carrying some weight. Yeah, lovely. Unsurprisingly, this caught some flack online. People were appalled by WWE bullying somebody for their size in the first place, but all might have been forgiven had a satisfying payoff come in the end. Nia did win the Raw Women's title at Mania, which was a bit cool, but then she herself turned into a heel bully shortly thereafter. Huh? WWE handled a sensitive subject with typical clumsiness. They went the ham-fisted route rather than telling a positive, inspiring story, and everyone in the promotion would just rather people didn't talk about this awkward tale now, and it's not hard to see why. Enjoy this things WWE wants you to forget list? Well then check out this 10 things WWE wants you to forget about 2023 video. Thank me later. Bye bye!